just like everybody else. But I know that they do it. And I was privileged, was it in December or November? Yeah, to attend their Violet Awards last November. And I suggested that they might like to present this to all of you. So it gives me great pleasure, not least because I can now stop talking, to hand over to Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
Firstly, thank you, Pam. This will go on the programme eventually. No, it will do, I promise. Just bear with me as to share screen. Come on. There we go. As is always the way, the technology takes a little bit longer. Come on. Okay, that's better. That's better.
Thank you, Angie.
Right, okay. Come on.
One down there, if you want. There we go.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Got it.
Got it.
Brilliant.
In the beginning then.
Sorry about that. How are we doing? Okay. Right. Okay, can everybody see me all right? And can you all hear me okay? Good. Good morning. Today Milton Keynes has been invited to talk about, or rather arm behind the back, our Violet Awards. And I will also mention a few other actions that we have undertaken. But firstly, I would like to welcome you all here. And I also want to take the opportunity to say welcome you to MK Snap. This is a lovely venue. As Pam says, you know, we use this for our Violet Awards. But I'd like to, if you could, all of you join me in thanking Angie for letting us use these premises because they are fantastic, I think you will say. Our Violet Awards, what did we do? In 2021, we held an awards evening to celebrate women of action, unsung heroes, helping vulnerable women in the charities that we support. And we called it the Violet Awards. We named them after Violet Richardson Ward, one of the founding members of the first Soroptimist clubs back in 1921 in Oakland, California. Her lifetime motto was, "It's what you do that counts." These words resonated with us, especially celebrating our 100th birthday, but because these awards are to celebrate those unsung heroes working in our linked charities who go that extra mile above their normal work responsibilities to help those vulnerable women in our community get their lives back together. We wanted to celebrate and say, we value you and we thank you for the outstanding contribution. And why? We have link officers for each of our charities who work with them and they feed back to us. And they were showing us how hard our charities were working in these extremely difficult and emotional times, and how the staff and the volunteers were having to work longer and harder, and issues were being exacerbated by COVID, where the charities were seeing much more need coming to them, significant need, whilst losing some volunteers due to the COVID working practices. So it was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to value and recognise the work of women to support their communities, which can largely go unnoticed. It was an opportunity to celebrate their achievements above and beyond what they usually do, the going that extra mile. It was an opportunity to improve the general well-being of those staff and the volunteers, even more so during COVID. And it was an opportunity to advance good citizenship and community development. So how did we go about this? Initially, the executive committee asked the volunteers to make up a group who would project manage this event. Our first debate was whether we made this a Milton Keynes wide event for all our charities, or whether we held it just for the charities that we worked with. Because this was a new concept for us, and also because we were funding this ourselves, we decided to pilot amongst our linked charities. The main reason was because we know them, and therefore we have some knowledge of what they do and how they work. And if it went well, we would consider widening it to other charities. Once this was agreed, we developed a project plan which fell into the following elements: budget, timescale, venue, nomination form, judging, invitation lists and invitations, and equipment. Budget. As I previously said, this event is not a fundraising event. It is about recognising and thanking those staff and volunteers who go above and beyond. This meant that the first time we held it, we subsidised it from our branch funds. So we did quite a bit of fundraising. Our treasurer kept us on track. Whenever we started getting a little too enthusiastic, which for us is always often, but Jean brings us back on board. For our second event this year, we were very fortunate to have obtained a sponsorship from Jan Flawn, founder of PJ Care and a friend of both MK Snap and Soroptimists, and we are very grateful for that. And this sponsorship enabled us to be able to increase the number and value of prizes and the number of winners. There was a bit of collaboration going on there, which Jan has even said she'll sponsor our next one as well, which is really lovely. Timescale. In all, this project took up to around 6 to 8 months of our year, and is one of the reasons why we do this every 2 years. The timescale for just sending out the invites and then getting back the nomination forms and then judging them can take 3 to 4 months in itself. So you do need to allow a lot of time for this. Venue. This is very important. It needs to have the right ambience for this type of event. And also, once we had located a venue, this would indicate the maximum number that we could cater for. We are extremely fortunate to be able to use MK Snap. It is a wonderful venue. I think just today, you can see how lovely it is. And when the sun is streaming through, it is quite it provides such a lovely atmosphere, which we hope you agree today. So we do thank Angela very much. Who should we invite? Attendees were made up of our linked charities, the nominees, the nominators, the chairs, trustees and the CEOs. We wanted other prestigious people to come in Milton Keynes to see and share in saying a big thank you to these charities for the work that they do and to these unsung heroes. And so we invited the Mayor, the High Sheriff of Buckinghamshire and other VIPs who are interested in what we do and support us during the year. As this was part of our 100th birthday celebrating women, we decided to have an inspiring speaker, someone who had got on in the world and led by example, to speak at the event and also to hand out the prizes. For our first year, we were very lucky to welcome 2 speakers. We had Chief Inspector Kelly Gardner from Thames Valley Police, who spoke about women who achieve. And after that, after the nominations, we had Helen Byrne, our past regional president at the time, to speak about how Soroptimists achieve. This worked really well, and we continued this in our second year with Zoe Raven, CEO of Acorn Early Years, to talk about the demand of juggling childcare with personal development. We've been very privileged in both events to have great speakers and inspirational in themselves. Another job was to develop the nomination form and the judging criteria, and this does need plenty of time. We developed a criteria and a set of qualities and invited each charity to nominate 2 people. The criteria is: we want to celebrate a member of staff, paid or voluntary, of the charity who has in the past year gone over and above their normal work responsibilities. And this person has also to demonstrate the following qualities: value each other and help promote the female voice, inspires and enables women to achieve their full potential, operates effectively to achieve outstanding results, listens and leads by example, is tolerant and empathy. It was agreed that the organising group would also be the judging group. If anyone then knew someone being nominated, they would be excluded from judging that person. The timescale for sending out the invitations, sending out the nomination forms, receiving them back, judging and informing the nominees is around 3 to 4 months. The nomination form obviously had to say what the awards were all about, what our criteria and our qualities were about. We set out a guidance on completing the form, which included: how have you demonstrated the candidate has reached the award criteria and all the violet qualities requirements in your nomination? Before you start, please list your nominee's achievements and qualities against the criteria and the violet qualities. 2, how have you given details to illustrate the statements you have made against each quality about your nominee? Give evidence, giving vivid descriptions to show what makes their achievement special and the difference their contribution has made. And 3, have you been clear and concise and kept below or to the 500-word limit? Difficult. So the part 1 of the form asks for the details of the nominee, the organisation they work for, their job role, if they volunteer or they are a staff member, and what their regular duties are. Part 2 is limited to 100 words and asks the nominator why they were nominating this person. We ask if this can be clear and precise and highlight their standout achievements. And part 3, the 500-word part, is to tell us more about what this person's achieved and done to ensure they meet the criteria and the qualities. Each year, we are developing this nomination form further as we keep learning. Once they are all received, we then come together as a panel to review our marking and see who has come out top. To date, touch wood, we have been very lucky that we have come out with an outstanding person each time. When this part has been completed, we can send out the invites. I think you can see a nice little invite there to all the nominees to invite them and a partner or a friend to the evening. We then have a task and action plan for the run-up to and on the actual day, allocating tasks to members. This includes how we're setting up the venue, the tables, the catering, the IT. I hate the IT and the microphone. Making the prizes. For 2023, we made violet hearts, which we were presented in a little violet tote bag. The 3 main winners received a large bouquet of flowers each, and the runners-up received a smaller bouquet of flowers. All were presented with certificates, thanking them, and the 3 winners received a monetary prize. The other parts of the action plan included ordering the food and the drink. We have found that a light buffet works well, and if there is any food left over, one of our charities takes it with them for their clients. So again, we're recycling, we're not wasting. Timetable for the day and making sure the speakers in the chair, that's me, doesn't run over time. And that is one of our difficulties. At the end of our event, we do a feedback session. We ask all members for their comments on what needed to be improved and update on our action plans and this is very invaluable. And the evening? The evening itself starts with a welcome by the chair of Soroptimists and gives a brief overview of the evening at Milton Keynes Soroptimist Club. We then have the inspirational speaker highlighting just what women do for their communities before the proper part of the evening gets underway. This entails each of the nominators, usually their own manager, coming up to the front and reading out the nomination form so that the nominee understands why they have been chosen. And it gives the managers the opportunity in front of their peers and the other charities to say thank you out loud. And I think that is one of the really biggest benefits of all of that evening. I really do. Once all the nominations have been read out, oh my goodness, don't look out the window. It is the duty of the chair and the guest speaker to then announce the winners and hand out the prizes. I'm going to just click on because here you can see we even have our own gold envelopes. First, second, and third prize. And you can see that we've got our catering here. Here is an example of our purple hearts that we made. And this is Jan Flawn, who sponsored our evening last year. And you've just got a few examples here. This is Zoe, our speaker, with the winner. And you can see just what a great evening it is, really. Everybody just networks, has a good chat. It's a very good feel situation. So between myself and the speaker, we will then hand out all the prizes. We will take photos and then we will adjourn to having a good old enjoy the nibbles, have a drink and network with each other. We have found, especially at our first event during COVID, that the charities did find it really invaluable just to be able to chat amongst each other and network and catch up and actually help each other. We have found that all of a sudden one will be saying they've done something and that helps another one. So we do think that's an important element to it. I'm just going to click on here. Here is an example of the certificate, and they all receive certificates, and they all have the message to say thank you for all your hard work, for everything that you do. What are the benefits? Firstly, we believe the main benefit is recognising those unsung heroes in our charities and providing the opportunity in front of their peers to say thank you. That really is the main one. It is an inspiring evening because you hear their stories of devotion. These nominations were sought from paid and unpaid staff and all were valued equally. It gave our charities the chance to also learn more about each other, and we know as a result that they help each other out more. And finally, it does give us the opportunity to promote Soroptimism. And what did our charities say? In our first year, the winner was one of the volunteers at Unity MK, the homeless charity. She'd been homeless herself and still volunteers there. She sent us a lovely email. In it, she said, "Thank you for passing the honour of the Violet Award to me. This will always be a fantastic memory for me. I love the certificate and the brooch is unique and to be treasured. I have taken photos of the flowers as they open and that way can enjoy them for a long time. What a tremendous building block in my life. Thank you." And from this year's event, we received a lovely message from one of the founders of the Ukraine Appeal charity. She said, "I just wanted to say a massive thank you for the fantastic evening and the feeling of togetherness. In light of the past couple of years, witnessing the horrors of war at my hometown, with tanks seen from my childhood bedroom window that changed my life forever, the participation in Violet Awards meant so much to the growing Ukrainian community. We could only dream about taking part, but being successful in 2 nominations was surreal. That night on the 20th of October will remain very special in our hearts and for sure will boost the spirit of fellow Ukrainians. Thank you so much for a special evening with so incredible people. I truly feel privileged." I think that just gives you an idea of what it means to everybody on a personal point of view. And what were the lessons learned? Well, we are always learning. Giving more guidance on completing the nomination form. That's a hard one, and we will keep up with that one. A less cumbersome scoring system when we're judging. Sticking to the timings of the evening. Now that is a difficult one because once the nominators get up and start talking, I have to sort of slightly push them off to one side. We're thinking about changing the format from having it straight lined to actually having a table format like today, actually, to allow even more informal discussions between everybody. And giving more time at the end for the charities to mingle and chat.
Sue, there's a comment here on the chat from our Zoom friends, because I don't know if you know, Ayushi Kundu is one of the SIGBI assistant program directors, and she's the SIGBI program director for partnerships, and she's now a member of the St Albans Club, and we will get her to speak at some point, we promise. She said, "I commend this project because it recognises the special work done by charity and in turn empowers them." So another thing you could do is you could put that up for the best practice award. You've got all the materials there already in your presentation.
And can we use the quote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Yeah, that'd be really good.
You stole my words, Jane. I was going
Right, well, that's really nice to hear. Thank you. We will do that.
Can I just say a couple of things? The first thing is, it was an absolute pleasure to be here because I was here for the first one. It obviously was very special for everybody because it was pre-COVID and a lot of the people just hadn't met. So it was wonderful for that. So I mean, the whole atmosphere was fantastic, and it's wonderful to hear that that's continued. It was an absolute pleasure for everybody to be in that room, for everybody to have the opportunity to reflect on how much women put into doing things. And it was great for the individual charities to be able to appreciate their volunteers or their members of staff. And the 2 things, apart from all of the things that Sue's already said, that I took away from it, is it is a wonderful opportunity, I felt, for the Milton Keynes Soroptimists to find out some more about what their charities do, because they were talking that I knew that the charities themselves appreciated the opportunity to network, but they were talking about what they did. And it was a great way to find out what more, as Soroptimists, they might be able to do to help those charities. And the other thing is, I have never heard so many other people talking about how good and what Soroptimists do. Because all of those charities have been supported by the Milton Keynes Soroptimists, who do a fantastic amount of work. But they were talking about, the charities were talking about what Milton Keynes had done. And there were some wonderful words they could take away from their website. It's a fantastic opportunity. I know how much work went into it. But not every club will necessarily be in a position to do it, but it's worth thinking about because it just is a joy for everybody, and it really makes a difference to everybody who's there and listening to the nominees. And listening to the person, to the lovely lady who won was just fantastic.
Yeah, no, Helen is absolutely right. She is, and as you see, I got emotional just reading one of them because it actually makes you that because you are so inspired. But thank you for those kind words. We will certainly do that. As you can see, the evening itself is an emotional and inspiring evening, highlighting role models. It is about valuing these very special people who help to support some very vulnerable women. It's an evening of enjoyment and of celebration too. It is a feel-good event and one we hope to repeat every 2 years. That is our Violet Awards. Before I answer any questions, I am going to mention 2 more activities briefly, or possibly 3, seeing as Pamela.
That's okay, you've got plenty of time.
Pamela tells me. Digby 90 challenge.
Yes.
Well, we have taken up the challenge laid down by President Ruth Healey to celebrate the Federation's 90th birthday. And between ourselves, our members and our friends, our first challenge in March, we raised or collected 90 new and slightly used bras. And in fact, I've now got some more. Thank you. Gently worn. Gently worn. Or purchased and then found that they weren't quite right when you got them home. The first 90 went to a UK charity that collects underwear for people in Africa and the UK, and it's called Smalls for Us. And they do that because people can't afford them or can't get them. You know, it's because dignity matters. We also took part in, we've done so twice now, but we took part in Milton Keynes Food Bank MK Logo Challenge. Now this happened over Easter and we made up our, here it is, we made up our Soroptimist logo using about 90 items of food, and we submitted the picture, which has now been made into a big postcard and has been circulated around Milton Keynes, so a little bit more getting Soroptimists up there. That raised over Easter about 19,500 food items, because Food Bank are still struggling. When I mentioned that we also took part, I might as well mention it now. I'm proud to say that Milton Keynes might be the youngest or one of the youngest clubs in the region, but we are now probably one of the only ones as being a Guinness World Record certified participator, because we took part in Milton Keynes Food Bank's MK Can event back in September. It was September, whereby they wanted to break the world record for the longest line of food items joined together, which was currently held in Canada. It was 44,000 items, canned items. On that day in September, and Angie was there as well with her SNAP learners, and so were so many schools, community groups, businesses. We broke that record. We achieved 7.64 kilometres, or 102,447 food items. That was supposed to be 6 months worth of food. It was only 3 months. It was because of how busy they are, which is why we then took part in that one. But it was, again, what was so lovely about that day was everybody took part in it. It was such a fun.
It didn't rain, so.
It didn't rain, and actually it wasn't that cold. It wasn't too cold, but it wasn't that cold. Oh, we had the sunshine. We had the sunshine. But we heard about it back in July, and we said, can we do this? Because what they wanted us to do was we had to have we had to collect 350 cans, which did a certain amount of space. We said, can we do this? We said, we're a small group, but yes, we can. Well, I started panicking straight away because I thought 350 cans, that's a lot. We started asking our friends. Our friends started asking those friends. And in the end, we nearly had 1,000 cans. I couldn't believe how much. So us as Soroptimists are very grateful for all of the friends that we have in Milton Keynes because they stood up to and got that. And so thank goodness for Angie and her friend Dave and the van, because I don't know how we were going to get all of those cans there. I mean, we actually helped Angie out because she needed some cans. We helped YMC out, one of our charities, because they wanted some cans. But it was a fantastic event. It was a fantastic day, and it was just great to be part of that world record. So that's just another one that we did.
Another 90 for 90.
It is another 90 for 90 because it was literally just over 90. The next one was that we then collected 90 pairs of pants, and these with another 68 bras. Actually, we donated to our homeless charity, Unity MK, because I popped in there and was talking to them, and they were saying, we haven't got enough underwear for the women that approach us. So I said, here you go. So we gave them to them. And in fact, we've just done another 90, which was 90 pairs of socks. And these were men's and women's socks. And I popped those into them last week whilst we were doing a buffet for them. And they were really, really grateful. So that's another 90. And another 90 is, and I'm just going to promote this a bit more because I don't know how well they're doing, but SI Libertas, along with the new Soroptimist group in Uganda called, I'm not going to be able to say this properly, Soroptimist International Wakaso. They chartered in 2023, and their first project is to fundraise to build a cervical cancer centre. And I think they were talking about it was near enough £1 for a brick. Well, we've donated £90, so we're hoping that will go towards that. So that's another one of our 9C. So that's what we've achieved so far. We've got to think about the rest of the year. We've still got to have to get some ideas together, but that's a few. So I hope everybody else is getting on with theirs as well. I'm going to just also, which will lead into the next one, I'm going to mention our work with Ukraine. When the Ukraine war commenced back in 2022, our members wanted to help. Initially, we rallied round and in the first couple of months had donated clothing, crutches and all sorts of goods to be shipped out to the Ukraine. But we wanted to do more. Our afternoon tea event in March 2022 raised over £800, and we split this between supporting Ukraine refugees here in Milton Keynes and refugees arriving in Krakow, Poland. And we did this via Soroptimist International Krakow. Here in Milton Keynes, we have over 2,000 refugees, and the Ukraine Appeal and Charity have set themselves up. And they are now our newest linked charity. Our ongoing donations for them, starting with that first £400 in 2022, go towards educational items and money for the school. And they have set up to support the children and their summer school. And this Christmas, we provided over 120 Christmas presents for the children. And today, and I speak to them a bit later on, I now have a whole bootload of chocolate for the school. And we now have a new friendship link with Soroptimist International Krakow. We've donated around about £1,500 to the work that they are undertaking with the Ukrainian refugees arriving in Poland. Our first donation back in 2022 went to support two main projects. The first included taking food and clothing packages down to the train station and providing advice and support and getting them medical help upon their arrival. The other project concentrated on providing educational, medical and psychological support. They set up language lessons for the adults and the children. They got them drawing and playing and got them to take part in a play. They linked up with the charity to give support to the pregnant mothers, which included birthing classes, breastfeeding classes, psychological support and workshops. Another project we have supported was activities for senior citizens, with a planned programme of workshop activities being delivered this January to March. This programme included a Christmas concert, Polish language classes over a 6-week period, art workshops, handicraft workshops, relaxation workshops and integration workshops. And only this week, we received an update of another project that our financial donations have helped, which was a result of a Zoom meeting that we held with Krakow back in the autumn of 2023. SI Krakow were telling us of a home near them where there were orphaned Ukrainian children. So we agreed it would be good to do something for these children, and Krakow decided to make the children a gift for Children's Day, which falls on the 1st of June in Poland. So they asked the children what would make them happy, and it turned out that they would like to receive, well, they call it a gas grill. I think what we mean is a barbecue. So on the last day of May, 2 Soroptimists from the Krakow Club took part in a picnic for the children, and the newly purchased barbecue was used. And all was subsidised, and we also subsidised the children's vacation. SI Krakow have told us that the Ukrainians will need long-term support to acclimatise to a new culture and to get support to get jobs and a home. And so we hope we can continue to help them. And on that note, I hope you have found our activities interesting. I will just say that I hope there are only a few questions, because I think, like me, I'm certainly looking forward to introducing our friends from the Ukraine Charity Appeal here with us today. They are kindly going to sing a medley of Ukrainian and English songs. So thank you for listening. Hope that wasn't too boring. Any questions before I? Good.
So thank you for that presentation. I think you will all have found that very interesting indeed, very well presented, and showing what can be done, or showing us how to do it as well, actually, with all the process, because obviously there's a lot of work involved, and it was very, very successful. And I knew about this, as I said before, and about the CANS project and all the other things they've been doing, the 90 for 90. Hertford hasn't done any 90 for 90 yet. Has your club? Good. So do think about that. Do think about what you might be doing, and publicise it. I think you're meant to be sending it in somewhere.
I have.
Oh, you have sent that one in. Jolly good.
Sally at Sigby.
Sally at Sigby.
Is collecting the photos.
Yeah.
I think I sent them to. I can't
So
remember,
you've sent
Rita
them.
or something, but yeah.
And picking up on what Jane said earlier is, well, they need to go to Sigby,
Yeah.
Sally at Sigby. If picking up on what Jane said, I can't remember what it's called now, Jane. Oh, the project, nominating yourself. This year, you nominate Best Practice Awards, you nominate yourself for a Best Practice Award.
Yeah.
Information is in the library on the hub. So do think about that and nominate yourselves, because people need to hear about it.
Right.
And Soroptimist Clubs are really bad at
Yes.
saying we're good at something.
Yeah.
So please do.
Don't be shy.
So anyway, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And now I would like to invite our Ukrainian singers to come over. Please come over and Do you want to stand up? That might be a bit.
Oh,
Yeah. Or are they going to be all right? Gonna be all right
Would you
then?
like?
Yeah.
Justin.
I'll let you introduce.
Yeah, 1 second, Justin.
We haven't got the,
It's-
they've got the camera now, though.
I'll move the
You're
camera.
gonna move-
I'm going to stand here and move the camera.
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much to amazing team and Team Soroptimist MK. You have been fantastically amazing to us throughout this difficult time. And obviously, thank you so much for MK Snap for giving this opportunity for us to be here. My name is Victoria. I represent Ukraine Appeal charity. It's called Ukraine Appeal. I am the founder, and I also run Saturday school for refugee children called Sunflower. And we're really grateful for Soroptimist MK for helping us and giving the aids and items for school and supporting us in many ways. Really, really appreciate. For us today, performing here is really, really special. And now I would like to introduce these three beauties. All three ladies are from Ukraine. They escaped the war from different regions. Irina, Olga, Ksenia. So they're representing three different regions, Donetsk and Mykolaiv and Kyiv. All have got children and families here, and all didn't speak English, but they learned English, all working and settled here and trying to integrate and help British society as well as support various community events. They are among those volunteers for our charity and for our growing community, continuously supporting the project and helping Milton Keynes community and thriving variety of traditions and cultures within the Milton Keynes. And today we prepared a special present for you. Hope you will enjoy. And at this point, I will hand over to girls. And thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
So please feel free to sing along. I'm trying to do this all. My trouble seems so far away. How it looks as though we're here to stay. Oh, I believe yesterday. I'm not how the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday, suddenly, why she had to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday. That was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe yesterday. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something more, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday. That was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe yesterday. We were gold, and a dream that can be sold. We were right till we were, built a home and watched it burn. I didn't wanna leave you, I didn't wanna lie. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours. Yes, I think you don't understand. I can tell myself nothing, and I can hold my own head, and I can love me better than you can. And love me better, I can love me better, baby, and love me better, I can love me better. Say my name, cherry red, match the roses that you left. No remorse, no regrets. I forget every word you said. I didn't wanna leave you, I didn't wanna fly. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers. Yeah, write my name on the sand. Talk to myself for hours. They think you don't understand. I can take myself down, baby, and I can hold my own head, and I can love me better than you can love me better. I can love me better, baby. You love me better. I can love me better, baby. You love me better. I can love me better, baby. You love me better. I didn't wanna leave you, I didn't wanna fight. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers. Yeah, write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Yeah, you don't understand. I can take myself down, baby, and I can hold my own head, and I can love me better than, and I can love me better than you can. I can love me better, baby. You love me better. I can love me better, baby. And love me better. I can love me better, baby. You love me better. I can love me better, baby.
Oh, what?
Diamonds. My life, you don't see, I just to be happy. You don't die, but like diamonds in the sky. You shoot, sight I see, we know the ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive, with diamonds in the sky. I use them, we become one right away, all right away. After I felt the energy of sunrise. I saw the light inside shine bright. Tonight, you and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I too are so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Diamonds in the sky. And deep, moonshine and honey, we will never die. the diamonds in the sky. It's true, the star I see, you know the rest I see. When you hold me, I'm alive. When the diamonds in the sky, that's no kind of the energy of sunrise. I saw the light inside shine bright tonight. You and I, we're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I'm too hard, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright, diamond. Shine bright, diamond. Shine bright, diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like diamond. Shine bright like diamond. Shine bright like diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. So shine bright tonight. You and I. You're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I do want alive. You're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. 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 Shine bright like a diamond.
None of you will understand the word, but it is having a very symbolic and important meaning for us. So please enjoy as the ladies performing, and if you apologize for quite confusion in this technical question. Because it's our energy.
And get up and dance or just applause, everybody. Enjoy.
Are we ready? Yes.
Найдями від тебе тіща, в себе всі дні, у полоні печалі, може десь у лісах, жарти я шукала, соцруту знайшла, і тебе чарувала. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, у мене єдиний тільки ти, о, вір, о, твоя врода, твоя чистая вода, твоя бистрая вода синіх. Чи я тебе в снах, діброва зелена, позабути все ж так, ти приходиш до мене, не треба нести мені квітку надії, знову вже ти увійшов в мої мрії. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдиний тільки ти, о, вір, о, твоя врода, твоя чистая вода, твоя бистрая вода синіх. Червону руту не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдиний тільки ти, о, вір, Moja broda, moja čistaja voda, moja čistaja voda si. Moja čistaja voda si. Moja čistaja voda si.
I encourage everyone to sing together and please enjoy.
Okay, anyone on your feet? On your feet. Come on. On your feet. On your feet.
The time of your life, Jesus girl, was that sweet, with that sweet. Having eyes and lights alone, looking out what place to go. When the friend right you there, and it is free, you had a beautiful. Anybody will be that girl, not young as you take high. When things rock you day, everything is fine, you are the beautiful. When you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and free, only 17. Dancing queen, with no feet from the captivity. Dancing the time of your life. Watch that sea, in the dancing queen. Your secrets told them all. We belong and then you go. Looking out for another, anyone would do, you are a beautiful. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and free, only 17. Dancing queen, feel nothing from eternity. Dancing the time of your life. See that girl, watch that sea, sing the dancing queen.
Please, a really big thank you to our Ukrainian friends Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, and apologies for the technical issues, but thank you, girls, for everything, for being in this project, for supporting our projects, for supporting other projects, for supporting our supporters. It's such an important thing to build a new community, and we're still growing. Really grateful.
And you are part of our community.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't you ever forget that you are all the dancing queens.
One.